Hey, welcome to Hooked, the Kayak Angler's Resource. Today we got a big show, Jonathan Dominguez. What do we got today?
Uh, Kayak Adventure Series. We're going to talk to Drew Gregory. Yeah, he's kind of the mind, behind the scenes. And then we also got one of our pro staff guys, Jake Hepner. Got on with us last year. Going to be on with us this year again. But let's get right into it.
Does a lot of cool things with Drew, and we've been looking forward to getting him on for a while.
Absolutely.
So let's go.
Guys, what's up? How are you all?
Doing good, man. Ready to get wild.
There you go.
Jake, man, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm glad there's some warm weather coming because this inside for the last month is not for me. So
For sure. Well, I've been watching a lot of your guys' streams about the Kayak Adventure Series and excited about it. Seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun. We are looking forward to it because one of our local clubs, Moyak, you guys will be teaming up for the I believe it's the Wapapella Roadrunner. It should be a good event. But Drew, kind of give us the rundown, or I guess the background of this series and how it came to fruition.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And thanks for having us. Really appreciate what you guys are doing and getting the word out. And man, I just love to see more podcasts like this really promoting our sport because it is such just an incredible sport with amazing people to really connect and change people's lives and develop friendships. And that's kind of what the Kayak Adventure Series is a little bit about. In the early days of kayak fishing, a lot of us got into it for that fellowship, the camaraderie, the campfires, and that still happens, especially on these local levels. But in terms of a big national level, I don't know if you guys remember these things called boondoggles that used to happen. The boondoggles, and I used to do some called river bass and rodeos, and it was just come hang out, have fun. Let's all fish at this one place, this one campground, stay there for one weekend, and as the sports evolved, and this isn't like a bad thing, it's the nature of all sports. Like you don't see the top PGA Tour players just partying all night long, expecting to, at their tournament, expecting to win millions of dollars, right? It's a job. It's very serious, and it's such a fine line to be the best of the best, right? But let's face it, that most of us aren't really like in it for that. And if you are in it for that, you got all the other series that are out there, the Big Bassmaster and the other national trails that are out there. So you can choose to go that route. This is a little bit more like, let's bring the family, let's have fun, let's have a little festival component, let's do some kayak demos, let's bring in some bouncy houses, let's food trucks, music, drinks, designated after party locations, just all kinds of fun. And GoPro is the headline sponsor of this whole thing because they love the concept of just a festival, and especially when I pitch to them, hey, I want to have our awards ceremonies, the awards, not at the Holiday Inn lobby and not at the pavilion at the state park this next time. It's just all different in a consistent location that's a theater, a downtown kind of historic theater, those cool ones with the marquees and the lights. I want to hold it there, and I want to show pictures and videos of the weekend, all the fun and festivities, that some of the best catches are just the funniest moments on that screen. And it encourages people to film themselves, and they love the concept. So that's kind of one of the cool things about the Kayak Adventure Series is simply going to all these cool theaters in different towns. So that's kind of the gist of it. We can get more into it, but that gives you guys a start.
Jake, how'd you get teamed up with Drew on this?
Oh man, I don't know. It's kind of a long story, but obviously I'd been fishing out of the Crescent for a while, and he kind of just reached out to me about potentially helping with it. And I mean, it's been, man, that was a while ago. That was a long while ago when we first talked about it. And so there's been a lot of like planning behind the scenes before anything was announced. I don't know. There's a lot of work still to do. I think we're kind of in that period where it's like the calm before the storm. But like once these things get rolling, I think we're gonna all be pretty busy.
Drew, run us through the schedule real quick, and then I'd like to kind of close out with the local one that we got going on in our area. But run us through that real quick.
Sure, let's do it. And if you want, you can pull my screen. I can share it, and I can even pull it up on the website here. It's kayakadventureseries.com. I don't know if this is an audio podcast as well, but kayakadventureseries.com if you're just listening. And I'll come over here. You can click on events and you can see, if you actually click the events tab, you can see them all laid out there for you. And they all have a festival name because this is a tournament / festival. They all kind of have a cool festival name. So we're going to kick it off in Georgia for Shoaly Palooza. So if you've never caught a shoal bass, that's May 3rd and 4th. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then June 7th and 8th, we head to Michigan for Wild Whitehall. And July 12th and 13th, which we're going to talk more about that, of course, on this show here today, Ozarkana, Poplar Bluff, Missouri. That's going to be a ton of fun there at the Rogers Theater. August 9th and 10th, the Fiesta on the Susky in Towanda, Pennsylvania. So if you've never fished the Susquehanna, trust me, that will indeed be a party. And September 6th and 7th, we go to the Wisconsin River for the Wisconsin River Fest in Sauk Prairie, Wisconsin. And our finale, which I'm very careful to no longer say the word championship because that kind of implies it's you got to qualify for it. But the finale, the final event, which is a championship of sorts because the Angler of the Year and the Team of the Year will be crowned there, is called Broodstock, and that's in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So honestly, a lot of these are not too far away from to folks all over the country. There are, no one's really too far away from a lot of these. So you only need to get to 2 of them, by the way, for the Angler of the Year and the Team of the Year. You only need to fish 2 of the 5 regular season events, and then that combines with your broodstock score. So you get points, obviously, based on how you finish. And so really you're just fishing 3 to have a chance for AOI. But obviously if you fish more, if you fish 3, 4, or 5 of the regular season events, that just gives you, some mulligans, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
To
the
put it to put it in perspective, if you you live around us, like in the Missouri, Illinois region, you can hit the local one here, and then the one in Wisconsin is not a long drive at all. You're looking at maybe, like 6, maybe 7 hours, depending on where you live in the state. But it's a really close one, and it's going to be an awesome one. Awesome.
I love the format. I think that one thing you guys are doing, the community side of this, we talk about this all the time. Jonathan is really the tournament guy, and I'm not a tournament guy, but I would do this. I mean, this is something that, it sounds like something that'd be a lot of fun, that it kind of makes the fishing a little secondary, which is awesome for some people. You get to have some fun and get some of the competitive juices flowing, but it's more about that sitting around the campfire. The festival part of it, I think, is absolutely amazing. Our Big Bass 250 tournament that we do is starting to get some national attention because of just that. I mean, we really make that about community, and the after party and the awards banquet and dinner and all that. And so, man, I love what you guys are doing. It sounds great. Can Drew or Jake either? Can you tell us a little bit about like the format, like as far as, are you guys going to have some vendors there? Are you going to have people there to do other things, or is it just going to be just a celebration of the angler?
I don't want. Let's almost start with Thursday, and then I'll finish on that because you kind of have to go through the whole thing. So Thursday is the opening ceremonies, and that's more like a little bit more low key, just for the anglers. We'll have some food trucks, some music, maybe some games. Just hanging out and having fun. From 4 o'clock it starts, and you're just checking in. That's where we check all the anglers in. There's not some big long rules meeting. At 7 o'clock, there is a short question and answer session for new anglers, stuff like that. But it's not like a full on, you got to sit there and listen. It's just a hangout. We're having fun. Might be at a brewery at one of the locations. I think Wisconsin, we're at a brewery for the opening ceremonies. They're all just different cool places to hang out and just have fun and fellowship. And the best part is on Friday, the tournament actually starts on Friday. This is a unique format, afternoon. So Friday at 3 to 7, they have an afternoon session. What that allows us to do, of course, because the tournament starts Friday, you can't get on the water until that 3 p.m. time, right? So what do we do until then? Well, if you hung out a little bit too late and had a little too much to drink and whatever, you can recover with us at our Friday breakfast seminar series. Okay, so it's like a breakfast brunch, 10 o'clock to 12:30. We usually have 3 seminars, 45 minutes each, from kayak fishing or fishing celebrities or biologists. And you can come there, hang out, bring your rods and reels, string up, just get prepared for the tournament. And then Friday's afternoon session is 3 to 7. And then Saturday, it's all day, typical like 6:30-ish in the morning until 3 p.m. But kind of to get around to your question now, and why I wanted to go in order, is Saturday is the big festival where there will be the vendors, the merch tents, the bouncy houses, the Toyota truck demos. I'm talking with an e-bike company that might have their e-bikes there to do demos for those. Those are pretty cool because some people actually been asking us, can they even launch at places where e-bikes are allowed to go? And, we can get into that, our unique rules format later on that. But just the fun stuff happens that day. The kayak demos, which you guys will be, at Eco Fishing, are going to be a big part of that because this event is headline sponsored by Old Town. So you guys sell a ton of Old Town at Eco. Of course, everyone knows that around the country. If you don't, now you do. And you guys are going to bring some there to do some demos. So that'll be a lot of fun. So Saturday's a big festival day, that stuff like that going on. And then we have the awards at the theater right after that festival around 6:00. So if you imagine, like, festival starts at 2, ends at 5:30, we all go to the theater at 6. And lines out time, by the way, is around 3, but some people get back a little early, and the festival's just not just for the anglers. It's for your friends, the family, the community. So it gets kicked off a little bit before the anglers start arriving back. But yeah, 6:00, we go to that historic Rogers Theater in town, and Jake will be there. We'll be putting on hopefully a great show, showing some really cool videos and pictures at the theater. And that theater seats 1,000, so we can pack it out, man. Let's just load it up. And then after that is the designated after party at Happy's Sports Bar right across the street. So we'll go over there and just kayak karaoke the night away, I guess, man.
Well, we even have like an after party spot
yeah,
too at the whiskey bar,
we
which is
do.
awesome. It kind of looks like your background. It's like completely wood wainscoting, brand new.
Yep.
Really cool that whole downtown in Poplar Bluff is really cool. And we're going at like the best time too, because it's gonna be nice and warm at night. So
Yeah, that's true. And all that information is on the site. If you want to pull it up, I can show you again. It's all kind of like listed, so you can't mess up. I'm trying to do this, in a way where all the information about this event, like, you can't find anything anywhere else but this page right here. You can't get it on Tourney X. You can't get it on a Facebook group or page. It's all here. So you can see Old Town's on here. We're going to be at the historic Rogers Theater. As you scroll down, you just get more information about the event. You can click all the different registrations for the different divisions, which we can get into. You can see all the other awards and ways you can win. The opening ceremony location, the closing ceremonies. You can see when that breakfast brunch is. So it's pretty cool. If you go to the website, you can see the pictures of the theater we're going to be in. So it's really cool that somebody's going to be on that stage with smoke or confetti or whatever going off, and winning a lot of money and prizes. And then we take it a little step further. We give you a detailed itinerary. So an hour by hour, like, literal breakdown of where you need to be and what's going on. You can see the Happy Sports Bar and Grill right there. It's a lot of fun. They got a rooftop section. They got karaoke and darts and pool tables inside, and this beer garden across the street where we'll have a lot of our opening ceremonies there, and the festival will be there as well. So a lot of stuff happening right there across from Happy's. Then you got the eligible water map here, the adventure course, and it explains all the lakes and rivers that are in bounds, which we can talk more about that. And then your eligible water preview video, which I've even made a video kind of talking the anglers through all of that eligible water. And that is pretty much it. So,
Drew, I've really liked how you've got it all in one spot and easy to find, because, a lot of clubs, a lot of national series, they've got, emails that go out, they've got Facebook groups, they've got all this other stuff. But I really liked it. And by the time this one comes out, you guys will have your live stream, and you guys have been doing the previews for each event, which is really nice. Because you're talking to local guys there, you're talking to not just your average anglers, you're the guys that are around there that kind of know the area and whatnot. But the nice thing is you guys are doing a preview and talking about this stuff before it's even going to happen. So you guys can, we'll link all your socials through, in down below and whatnot, but you guys can go there at any time and get all the information. But they are doing a really good job of doing some live shows and just talking about, what to expect, for each event. So it's pretty cool you guys are doing as well.
And I think you guys are hitting a home run here, especially with the way we talk a lot and the people that I get a chance to talk to every day. I love to kayak. I've been kayaking for years and years. And I think you guys are hitting a missing portion of our community. Guys that want to go out and do the stuff like that. But, I think that, like, going to a tournament and then meeting in a parking lot and doing the awards banquet and walking away. They're guys that the competitive fishing is the only thing they're there for. That's is a little bit of a turnoff to me.
Right.
This could be an addiction problem, but I want to
Yeah.
sit and drink some beers and have a whiskey and
Oh
just
yeah.
hang out with like-minded people and get new friends. And if I have a good day of fishing, great. If I have a bad day of fishing, it's the experience is what I would want to go for. And this is something I think that I'm going to look into very seriously, and I'd like to do it. I mean, I think that this appeals to guys like me, which is probably about 70% of our total market,
Mm-hmm.
of guys, because you've got those guys that either are serious trail guys in their local trails, serious guys in local national, and then serious guys in national. But there's a big group of guys who would love to do stuff like this, that would love to get 4 or 5 buddies together and just go do this. And whether they fish good, whether their batteries charged, whether they forgot their rods and reels and had to go buy a couple at Walmart before they hit the water, or whatever happens, they're going to have a great weekend and something that they'll never
Yeah.
forget. And I think you guys are hitting a home run with it.
Yeah, thanks, man. And Jake, you could probably share a little bit about this because targeting more of that market of the angler you're talking about, Travis, we have a lot of other categories where anglers can win. So if they're not having the best day, there's other categories and ways you can like have fun. So we are going to, before I let Jake chime in on a few of those, I feel like going to attract any of the anglers that do and are chasing some big kind of national checks, big checks, because the way we're doing it with our sponsorship and the reach we've got, we feel like we are going to have hundreds of these events. And our individual division is $150. So it's not like it's 50 or 75. I mean, you start getting 200, 300 people in an event that's paying out, an entry fee was 150. That's a big payout. And our team, our 2-man team division, which is again another way to promote camaraderie. And you can of course choose to enter one or both. You don't have to, do them all. You just show up to do the team division, but it's 150 also, which means that's just $75 a person because it's a 2-man team. So if you just wanted to enter our whole weekend and be a part of it, you could enter the team division for $75 with your partner and not be in anything else. But that promotes the camaraderie. It gets people traveling together, that fellowship. And I'll let Jay take it from here. There's a couple other categories that are just kind of laid back, fun, other ways to win prizes and cash.
Yeah, I think one thing that we kind of touched on it that we maybe overlooked a little bit is the 4-hour session on
Yeah.
Friday. All right, so let's say that you can't make both days. You can't make that Friday day. Well, it turns out that Friday is just 4 hours. So if for whatever reason you want to make one of these events and you can't fish Friday, you're only missing 4 hours, and you get to turn around. You come there Saturday, and you're really not out of it. I mean, it's not that. Yeah, it's just 5 total fish, right? So sure, you're at a disadvantage in the sense that you lose out on 4 hours of fishing in the evening, but I think that it appeals to people who maybe work a little bit and can't make it right away, having a chance to come in there, compete with everybody else, maybe from a little bit behind. But I'm making a point with this because one of the things that we have is the biggest comeback, basically, like the person who goes from, like, let's say you have 0 inches on Friday and then you end up winning. So whoever moves the most in that day, wins a prize from them, which is awesome. I mean, we're giving out so many prizes that like we could probably spend 30 minutes talking about that. But that's one of them that's kind of interesting to me because, like, if you just went out on Friday and had an absolute bomb of a day, but then you wake up Saturday morning, you get out there and suddenly you're just slaying them, you could win a prize just for that. Maybe you don't win, but if you went from 0 to 80 inches, I mean, that's a big, a big move on the leaderboard. So I think one of the other interesting things we're doing too that a buddy of mine is quite intrigued by is the microbag division, which is essentially your 5 smallest fish. So think of it like this: if you could get a 25-inch limit of your smallest 5, that is
Yeah. Minimum of
considered
5 inches. Yeah.
that's like your royal flush, right? That is the best possible hand you can have. And it sounds a lot easier than it probably is going to be. But I know a lot of guys, especially in the Ozark, I think this will play. I mean, there's a guy down there who legitimately his specialty is microfishing. Like he goes out there with tiny, like size 20 hooks, catching like, little tiny whatevers. That's going to be something that somebody like him will win. But I think it also appeals to kids because they go out there and, let's say they aren't having or, adults, even adults that aren't having a good day, you can go out there and actually like catch some fish and feel like, you contributed towards something, even if you're not catching like, 21-inch largemouth. So I'm pretty excited about the microbag division. I'm curious like how intense it gets.
Not only is that a cool idea for just in practice, but for new anglers, new tournament guys, or kids, it teaches you to put everything on your board, and that's something that, if you catch 5 little fish and get them on the board, I mean, you're learning another piece of what the tournament angler does. That's probably one of the harder things is getting your pictures. So, that's another thing. That's just another thing that helps progress individuals in the sport.
Yeah, it's only $25 too. So I mean, literally, you can be a part of the whole weekend. You can come see a seminar, come meet your heroes, your celebrities, the people that influencers, whoever you watch on YouTube. You can be a part of the whole event, the festival, all the festivities, the awards. But I mean, just $25. Enter that micro bag, and then you're learning tournament fishing, and it's actually like Jake said, the minimum is 5 inches. So the best hand would be a 25-inch bag. But somebody, we joke about this in other podcasts. I'm telling you, somebody will enter the biggest 5 individual, the team, biggest 5 or 10 between the two, anglers, and the micro bag as sort of a hedge a little bit. You're not having a great day. All right, let me just switch over to the micro bag division. It's already 11:30 on Saturday. It's not. Let me see if I can go somehow get that win money over there in that division. So, but somebody one of these days is going to win the Triple Crown. And how much of a just incredible angler would you have to be to catch the biggest 5 and catch the smallest 5 and team up with your partner and win the team division? That'd be pretty impressive. But someone's going to do it at some point.
Well, one thing you've never heard before that would be amazing to catch on film is some guys yelling, "Yes, another 5."
Exactly.
Yes, another 5.
Exactly.
I mean, that's to me, I think that makes the whole day fun. I mean, I think I would always enter both just because, I mean, if you ain't having a good day doing that, I mean, it'd be hilarious to sit there and catch 12 inchers and just be pissed all day long because you're catching 12 and 15-inch fish.
Yep.
And, you either want them to be 5 or 25, that would be, I think you guys are putting together a great format.
Well, what's funny is my last tournament on Wapapello, and John was there. Like if we had the micro bag in that tournament, I would have been just mopping them up because all I could catch was like 7, 8, 10-inch bass. And that was on Wapapello, somewhere where we're going. And not to say there's not big fish in there, because I absolutely saw big fish in there. But that day, I just couldn't seem to catch anything but tiny ones. And I think I ended up with like 4 microfish. Like it was rough.
Well, I was going to say, it's all about just keeping skin in the game. Like if you have all these little things going on, it gives someone a reason to stick around, to not trunk slam and leave. And ideally, they wouldn't do that at our events. We wanted to end on Saturday to make sure that your friends and everyone and family can be there in the like seats and, applauding and celebrating, the accomplishments of the anglers who do catch, the biggest fish or the smallest if they're micro bag. But that's kind of the idea. And then on top of that, not just so they can be there at the theater, but also what we were talking about afterwards, continue to party and have a good time after the awards are over, way into the night. So there's no reason to go home. You can drive home on Sunday.
And the amount of people that would have the ability to, take their families, that their families normally don't want to go because the wife and kids go, or mom and dad are both fishing or whatever. And they get there and they fish and then they go to the awards banquet in the parking lot and go home. Here, I mean, you could take your whole family, do the festivities, do the tournament, and then Sunday go fish with your family all day. I mean, that could end up being a family destination, a family thing that you do all summer, and could be, I mean, that could turn into something big.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. JT's on here on the background. I'd like to bring him in. And JT, I know you haven't done. I don't even know if you've done one tournament or not, but what's kind of your thought process in listening to kind of what they got going on? I mean, you're definitely that audience, part of that audience that they're trying to target as well.
I think it sounds great because No, I haven't done anything other than online tournaments. I've done some month-long ones, but I haven't really jumped into tournaments yet because they are slightly intimidating, right? Or just I haven't figured out how to fish a tournament. But this tournament series sounds a little bit different in that it's for people like me, where there's not a ton of intense pressure. Obviously, it's still competitive with bigger pools. So, no, I love this idea because our last podcast was focused on kayak fishing for beginners. And this almost kind of sounds like a little bit of kayak fishing tournaments for beginners in a way, too, or seasoned pros. It sounds like it's a perfect mix for everybody. So, I do see one in Wisconsin that might be somewhat close to me. So, I'll have my eye on that one.
Yeah,
That one's going to
man.
be awesome.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's like you're saying. I mean, I think we're gonna get those intermediates, the beginners, and maybe they're just entering the other stuff first. But then, some people I know just want to like they freak out when they see those big names. But at the same time, it was cool when Mike Iaconelli started entering tournaments against, that I was in. It was like, you know what? Here we go. Let's, have a chance. And I think I have a winning record against him still, but I think it's 3-2 anyway. But I was 2-0
Well,
for a while. But
I think it's cool because it's an inclusive tournament. It's for everyone. It's for your guys that are seasoned vets and pros and have been in it a ton, or the JTs or the Travises that want to jump in them. But then also, it's you're not, even if you go up there and you can't compete because of some reason, new or not prepared or whatever, you don't just go get your butt kicked and go home. It's the experience of being able to be with those people, be with you guys, be with everyone, and just the whole experience, I think, is the sell.
yeah,
So
I
I think it's what our industry is needed, and I think you guys are definitely hitting it out of the park.
It's really cool, and we're excited for to have you guys in our area and showcase. For thank you guys for taking time out of your schedules to come on here as well. And
Yep.
and like I said earlier, we'll make sure and link everything in the description. That way you guys can check out their website and all their other lives and such, and follow along and be prepared for this event. But seriously, I think you guys have a good thing going, and we're excited to see what happens at your guys' event here in Missouri.
Like Jonathan said, we appreciate you guys being on, man. I think you guys are definitely finding a niche and something that's needed in our industry.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.